All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying, Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Makal Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you, sincere Akim, out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And with that being said, I'm going to jump straight into this video. It might be a little bit long. I got a couple videos that I wanted to play. Not sure if I'm going to play them in their entirety or not. But I'm going to go into Rakal Kwadash as usual. Lord's willing, it's edifying, all right? The title of this video, I'm more than likely I'm going to title it, Lord's willing, CHARAGMA. What is it? All right? And basically, I'm going to be real. The inspiration for this video came from a video that I saw Priest Daniel Allah did on his channel. I believe it's Maccabees TV or something like that. And basically, he did a video on CHARAGMA, but he never. I watched the whole video. I see why Elder Apostle Gabar always goes into the word patient, and being patient means to suffer. I mean, he did a video. I believe it was like 52 minutes long, and I patiently watched that whole video, and I suffered. Patient goes back to suffering. The word patient goes back to suffering. And I suffered through that, man. I patiently watched. I suffered through that whole video, and I wasn't edified, man. I left with more questions than answers, man. You know, he never explained what the mark of the beast was, man. But, you know, it is what it is. Every brother got their own lot. You know, we all trying to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So I said, where he dropped the ball at, I'll pick it up. And Lord's willing, like I said, this will be edifying. All right, so hold on, get something to drink right quick. All right, Salakia. So, like I said, what CHARAGMA? What is it? All right. So, let's get straight to this. Salakia. Let's get straight to it. Revelations 13 and 16, and it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right? And first things first, before we even get into the mark, which is CHARAGMA, right, which I'm going to go look up, which I actually looked it up already at Salakia. It's actually G5480, CHARAGMA.
Strong's G5480, CHARAGMA.
All right.
CHARAGMA.
So, like I said, CHARAGMA. What is it, right? It says it's a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist, which we know there is no Antichrist. There are many. The scriptures tell us that there are many Antichrists, many anti-Mashiach, anti-Yahushai. Basically, they're against this truth. All right. Many people in the ways of life and many doctrines and you know a lot of things that are going to come up against Yahushai, which is the truth, all right? The truth of the scriptures, the truth of everything, all right? But anyway, it says, but that's basically what it is. It's his mark, his like the elders always go to. I believe it's the ul or the all, his stamp that he wants to put in you. You know, like they used to put the earring in slaves' ears to mark ownership. That's what that mark of the beast, the CHARAGMA, is now, which is the RFID microchip. Okay, it says the mark branded upon horses. Yeah, why? It's like a brand, a mark to show the ownership. Thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. But like I said, the RFID microchip CHARAGMA is the mark of the beast. It is the RFID microchip, right? But before let's go back to Revelation chapter 3. I mean, it's like Revelation 13 and 16. Let's go back to the very beginning, right? It says he causeth all. This is very important to understand the he. The he is going back to the Roman, the Roman Empire. It's the beast, all right? It's the beast and his system, the beast system. Okay, if you can receive it. The beast basically is the rebirth of the Roman Empire, right? Because this place is nothing more than the rebirth of the Roman Empire. It's Rome all over again, okay? So basically, America, which is Babylon the Great, okay, sits upon the beast. It rides upon the whore. America the Great is the whore that sitteth upon many waters, and it rides upon the beast system. The beast, it's a system, all right, and it's made up chiefly of NATO and the EU. NATO is the military wing of is the military wing or military force of the beast, and the EU is the financial economic part of it. Okay, together combined they make up the beast system. All right, it is nothing more than the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is controlled by America the Great, the whore, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, if you can receive it, and it's controlled. America really, and the beast system is really controlled by Amalek. All right, if you can receive it, which is the chief house of Esau, Edom. And who is Amalek? And the Amalekites, the so-called Jews. The chief house of the chief house of Edom, you nobles, the banking families, the central banking families, the IMF, those people, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the DuPonts, the Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds. That the Rothschilds is the chief house of Amalek. All right, the nobles. All right, if you can receive it, that's the he. They are the ones that are trying to establish this one world order. Okay, and they hide themselves behind their corporations, behind their politicians, behind their legislations. They hide their true agenda. All right, that's why we call them the devil, the deceiver. All right, but as it is written, that man of sin is being revealed. They had to come a falling away first, which happened in 70 A.D. when the Roman Empire came and sacked us in Jerusalem, and we felt we lost the knowledge of who we were. They chased us out, sacked our temples, and desecrated our temples. And that But anyway, like I said, the lesson centered around CHARAGMA. What is it? It's the RFID microchip, and it's going to be implemented by the beast, man, the beast system, NATO and the EU, and chiefly, like I said, the rock of the bankers, man. All right, but the main point is this about this mark is this mark that you're going to receive, this thing imprinted in you, whether it's in anywhere in your body. Okay, it could be your right hand, it could be your left hand, your butt cheek, wherever. All right. The point of the matter is they're going to insert something, which we're telling you is the RFID microchip. All right, and without it, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to operate within this man's society, his system, his beast system, without it. All right. This says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. So that's very important. Very important. Why is it very important? I'm going to tell you why. Because Revelations 14 and 9 is going to tell you the judgment for you receiving that mark, which is the RFID microchip. Okay, it's going to tell you the judgment for receiving it and bowing to his image, which is his system, his way of life, his philosophies, accepting homosexuality, accepting transgenderism, accepting all this bullshit. But ultimately, you're going to receive that mark. If you receive that chip, if you take it, and just go along with your married life, you're going to be destroyed. All right? Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Anyway, Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, like I said, his system, and receive his mark, which is the RFID microchip, I believe in Europe they call it the NFC chip, if I'm not mistaken. But over here it's the RFID chip. All right, I believe we call it the radio frequency something or the other, and they call it the near frequency something or the other. But anyway, it says, and if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same, it's the main point, verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Indignation means righteous anger, okay? And he shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of and that's talking about those missiles. You're going to take part in the second death. And the second death is the lake of fire with those missiles, the besom of destruction, Okay? If you take that chip, you will be destroyed. Okay? It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. All right? So if you take that chip, you will be destroyed. Okay? Slovakia. I got this real quick to show you what the second death is. Revelations 21:8. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers, these are all the people that worshipped and bowed to the image. All right, his system, his way of life, his philosophies, his wine. All right, all right, and then ultimately took that chip. All right, it says, which is charagma. It says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is talking about those missiles, those ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. As it is written, the beast is going to turn on the whore and hate the whore. Okay? They're going to hate the whore. America's allies are going to turn on it and shoot missiles on this place. That's the second death. Which is the second death, okay? So, like I said, that this lesson is basically centered around charagma. What is it? It's like I told you, it's the RFID microchip, and you best believe that everything we right there, we're at the door of it. With the foundation for this, the infrastructure for this system is already laid and is continually being built and advanced as we speak. Okay, all these 5G towers. Hey, this man is working day and night, and not just in America. He's doing it globally. This is a global agenda. Okay, and that's what you see these nations really jockeying. That's what the war is really about. Who's going to control this? The Internet of Things. Okay, or they have another term called the Internet of Everything. So I got a couple videos that I'm gonna go into. And Lord's willing, you'll get a little better understanding, okay? Because the groundwork is already laid, man. You're already being conditioned to go cashless, okay? You're already being conditioned to insert that chip already. Everyone almost has a chip. It's in your phone. That RFID, it's in your phone. It's on your debit card now. But ultimately, they want to put it inside of you. Why? So they can integrate you into the Internet of Things. And then that way it'll become the Internet of Everything. They'll be able to track you. They'll be able to monitor you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start with this video here. It's an old video from Aaron Russo, RFID chip human implant. This thing the wicked elite. They've been had an agenda, man. Okay.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind.
These people, the beast, the wicked elites.
Is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them.
The charagma.
All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is giving me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
I'll read it over again for you. That was Aaron Russo. He died. He died a while ago. So, we don't know what happened. Supposedly it was natural causes, cancer, I believe. Who knows? I believe they whacked him. All right. I'll read it over. Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, okay, which is charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, okay, the mark branded upon horses, all right, stamped on the forehead or the right hand, as of the badge of the follower of the Antichrist. Which I said, it's not the Antichrist. It's the people that are going to bow to this man's image, his system, all right, his way of life, all right. It's this thing carved, yeah, inserted, carved, all right. That's what it's talking about. Aaron Russo just told you. You just heard it out of Aaron Russo's mouth, okay. Salakia, Salak. Back over here, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. So everybody, small, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So back in Aaron Russo, let me back it up a little bit. Salakia.
Is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be
radio frequency identification chip. CON, that's what it stands for. And I believe the NFC or something like that, near frequency, NFC, near frequency identification chip is what I believe it's called in Europe. Okay.
in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is giving me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so
that's why you see the Federal Reserve lowering the interest rates. You see they're getting everything in line, man, to crash this economy. Okay, they're gonna crash this economy, create order out of chaos. That's why we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. That's why we know Jacob's trouble shall commence. There's gonna be a physical famine. There's gonna be uproars of the people. There's gonna be all manner of hell, man. All type of pestilence, all type of diseases. Not to mention the Lord is going to visit this place with earthquakes and storms. It's going to be a time like never before, man. But ultimately, it's going to happen. Why? So Esau can bring order out of chaos. The solution is going to be this chip, okay? And if you take this chip, this charagma, you will be destroyed, man.
Instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes,
and I don't know how you can't clearly see that it's gonna, it's the chip. The charagma is the mark of the beast, because right now the money is on our chips. That's on your debit card. The money is on your chip. That's why you have to insert. You can't swipe it. You have to insert it. Why? So that RFID scanner can read it. But they're going to do away with the credit cards, the debit cards, and they're going to insert it into you. All right? Into you. You are going to be the debit card. You are going to be, Salak. Let me get these, Salak. You get the idea. You can go watch this video, and I don't want to make this too long, all right? I got a couple videos that I wanted to show you brothers, man, to solidify this, man. This is an old video. This is from, January 31st, 2019, CBS News. It says how the Internet of Things is changing homes and global industries. Because this is the wave, man. This is the next wave. This is the, like when, if you could think back to the 90s, the early 90s, the late 80s, the big wave was the so-called .com era, right? A lot of Edomites got rich buying up .com. They would buy up websites. That's before the internet got big. But they had the foresight to see that, they would buy like domain names. Like they'd buy cars.com or tv.com or movies.com or something. That way when the industry, whoever wanted that name, it was already bought. But they had the foresight to do that. But a lot of people got rich off of that. A lot of people became millionaires, multi-millionaires off of buying up domain names. Look it up, called the .com industry, all right? But that was a wave, and you could clearly see that this is the wave. The infrastructure is being laid, The politicians, the legislations are being laid. I just did a video. You saw that Trump is passing legislation to speed up the rollout of the 5G towers. You know, we right there, man. We right there. We right there. People are lining up in Europe left and right to take the chip as we speak voluntarily. You know, we right there, man. We right there. So CHARAGMA, what is it? It is the mark of the beast. It is the RFID microchip, man. All right.
We rely more and more on internet-connected devices. Experts say this year we're going to see more advances as we rely more and more on internet-connected devices. Experts say this year we're going to see more advances, especially in your home. My colleague Rena Ninan spoke with CNET senior producer Dan Patterson about the Internet of Things.
It sounds like a lot of jargon, but if you think about processing power and connectivity, and we just mean computer chips and the internet embedded into everything. So we've heard a lot of jokes and
computers embedded into everything. And notice he said processing power. That's why they're launching these 5G towers everywhere, because basically everything needs to be able to communicate, talk to each other. All right, they want to be able to send signals to and from you, from everything. They want to be able to track everything. All right, that's why the frequency has to be clean. It has to be a constant, clean signal to send information back and forth. Why? Because they want to ultimately monitor you. All right, and track you. Okay, just like they track everything else. They track the food. They track your cars. They track your cell phone. They track your where you go on the internet, or your website that you visit. They want to track everything, and ultimately they want to track you through the internet. And how are they going to be able to do that? They have to have some kind of device, some kind of physical thing. That's why the brother did the video. Is the CHARAGMA, is it a spiritual thing or a physical thing? No, it's a physical thing. How do we know it's a physical thing? Because it's being implemented by a man, all right, and a carnal man at that. All right, Esau Edom is a carnal man. He's not a spiritual man. So therefore, he has to insert a carnal mark into you, which is the CHARAGMA. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is a spiritual man. All right, a spiritual being. All right, so he's going to insert a spiritual mark upon you, which is the Thawar, mark from exemption. Okay, that's a spiritual mark, but the CHARAGMA is a physical mark. All right, which is the RFID microchip.
And commentary about your refrigerator or your washer dryer. That sounds funny, but if you connectivity, and we just mean computer chips in the internet.
With CNET senior producer Dan Patterson about the Internet of Things.
It sounds like a lot of jargon, but if you think about processing power and connectivity, and we just mean computer chips in the internet embedded into everything. So we've heard a lot of jokes and commentary about your refrigerator.
I didn't even realize that, but in the back of this is biometrics. This is basically the circuiting of a chip, right? And then someone's thumbprint. So they're already showing you in the back. They want to integrate the technology together. This is biometrics in the back, man. You see?
Or your washer dryer. Yeah. That sounds funny, but if you think about your washing machine at scale, if you can understand the water flow, this saves us tons of energy in the long run. So the Internet of Things is really just connectivity and processing power embedded into the world around us. And this is also the industrial world. It is our cities. So we're going to hear a lot about smart cities, about smart cars, and about the smart home, because
it's the wave of the future. Because this is what the wicked elite are pushing, man. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you're going to ultimately that's the hour of temptation, man. You will be tried with this. So it's a better video. I didn't really like this video, Salaki. Now that I'm rewatching it, it was a better video on this. Salaki, brothers. This is off of Israel. It says IoT, Internet of Things, Revolution in Israel, Internet of Things, published February 25th, 2019. All right. And like I said, I like this video because it basically showed you a lot of the infrastructure is already laid. It's easy for them to convert and switch over.
Does your fridge know you're hungry? Does your shirt know how you feel? Does your car talk to you? No, you're not going crazy. This is the IoT revolution. IoT is the Internet of Things. It's the technology that connects almost everything you can think of to the Internet. From clothing, cars, infrastructure, medical devices, you name it. And there is a lot of IoT innovation right here in Israel.
General Electric has been active in Israel for nearly 70 years, and we're particularly excited as Israel moves from startup nation to scale-up nation. We see the potential to create new efficiencies in legacy industries like energy, mobility, power, healthcare, and life sciences, as well as the creation
So they want to connect all aspects of life, your energy, your water, your gas, your lights, your TV, and ultimately you. They want to connect everything to the internet so they can monitor and track you. He wants to be like the Most High. And like the scripture said, he's going to deceive many because through his miracles, right? It seems like as the scripture said, technology was going to increase. But it's ultimately to your demise, man. It's not beneficial to you.
Entirely
but you can see Israel, they're pretty much a smart city, and that's what they're building, a lot of smart cities. Even in the ghetto and the hoods, they're going in and they're laying this infrastructure, man, right under your nose. You don't even realize it. You see them working in the manholes, and you see them. What do you think they're doing, man?
industries with the great IoT technologies that are coming out of Israel.
For example, the city of Tel Aviv launched AutoTel, a car-sharing platform run by IoT. These cars are connected to the internet. You can find available cars on your phone and unlock them using your phone.
You see, and then soon you won't need your phone because the chip. What in your phone is allowing you to unlock the door of the car, unlock your what is allowing things to do that? Why is that technology working? Through the chip. Okay? That's how come you're able to use your phone to unlock the car and do this and do that and unlock doors and through the chip. And ultimately they're gonna do away with the phone and just put the chip in you, man. You'll be the actual device. Okay?
Prisma Photonics makes physical infrastructure like roads, power, and water lines smart using lasers and sensors and by tapping into the existing global fiber optics network.
You see, they can tap into the existing network. See, they right there. Everything is there for them to do it, man. You know, that's the wave. We getting closer and closer, man.
And sensors and by tapping into the existing global physical infrastructure like roads, power, and water lines smart.
Internet. You can find available cars on your phone and unlock them using your phone.
Prisma Photonics makes physical infrastructure like roads, power, and water lines smart using lasers and sensors and by tapping into the existing global fiber optics network.
One of our unique features.
She said global fiber optics network, because this is a global agenda, okay? It's global. This is the next wave. Just like with the fiat currency, everybody had to bow to this central bank. It's the same, there's no difference when this beast system fully rolls out. It's going to be global, man. It's going to try the world, man. Okay?
Is that there is no need for modification in the infrastructure. No need to install any sensor. We are just plugging our system to a fiber optic.
Wow, so they advanced so much that they could just tap into the system, man. We close, bro. Close. Your salvation is nearer than you believe, man.
One of our unique features is that there is no need for modification in the infrastructure. No need to install any sensor. We are just plugging our system to a fiber optics that is already installed in the infrastructure and turn this process into almost a plug-and-play service model.
Quickly makes clothing smart with an IoT tag. That means you can try on clothes virtually and you never need to wait out a checkout line. IoT is so big here in Israel that the VCI3 is dedicated entirely to IoT and is funded exclusively by multinationals, all looking for the hottest tech in Israel.
Over recent decades, more than 300 multinational corporations active at the forefront of technology chose to establish an R&D center in Israel.
See, that's the next wave. All investors are keying in. That's... Whether you like it or not, man, that's the wave. That's where we're heading.
Looking for the hottest tech in Israel.
Over recent decades, more than 300 multinational corporations active at the forefront of technology, chose to establish.
She said over the recent decades. So they've been pumping money and they've been had a plan. So you telling me that they're not gonna do it? They have a plan, an agenda, and they're actually behind. They're behind.
Over recent decades, more than 300 multinational corporations active at the forefront of technology chose to establish an R&D center in Israel. Some of them, Intel, Microsoft, Broadcom, Cisco, IBM, and EMC, have even acquired more than 10 local companies.
Big companies, man. Salaki, let me play another video. Salaki, this one was good too. Because she mentioned Cisco, okay? Oh, man. This is off of Cisco. This is from August 14th, 2014, a long time ago. Because I said they have an agenda, and they're actually behind, man. For decades, she said they've been buying up tech companies and planning for this, man. All right? Planning to ultimately chip the people, man. All right? Working on this. Getting the infrastructure set up. The legislation passed. It just says the Internet of everything. Remember, we mentioned the Internet of things, but ultimately they want to connect everything to the Internet, including people. All right. So the Internet of everything is the new economy. From August 14th, 2014, from Cisco. That CHARAGMA, that beast system. It is inevitable. It is here. The CHARAGMA, the mark of the beast, and the system is already we here, man. They just haven't fully implemented it. It says it is inevitable. It is here. Are we ready? Internet of people, Internet of processes, Internet of data, Internet of things, Internet
Research
of
firm
everything.
IDC predicts that the Internet of Everything, or IOE, will generate nearly $9 trillion in annual sales by 2020. By comparison, the total revenue of the consumer electronics industry in 2013 was about $1.1 trillion. The total annual sales of the San Francisco Bay Area's 150 largest technology companies in 2012 were $677 billion. A study conducted by General Electric compared the IOE trend to the Industrial Revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries, when innovation in manufacturing transformed the way we do business and interact with machines. General Electric concluded that IOE, over the next 20 years, could add as much as $15 trillion to the global gross domestic product.
Now do you see why they're going to war over this shit, over this technology? You see? Now do you see? It's business. Man. Oh, man. We right there, brothers and sisters. We close. We close, Akim. We close. We are close. I got to read this again, man. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of his beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 666. Okay? It's a big money making. It's the next wave, man. Salaki. Oh, man. I skipped too much. Salaki.
Transform the way we do business and interact with machines. General Electric concluded that IOE, over the next 20 years, could add as much as $15 trillion to the global gross domestic product, roughly the size of today's U.S. economy. Additionally, Cisco estimates a value of $19 trillion in profits and cost savings over the next decade for companies that can harness IOE. $14.4 trillion from new private sector profits, and $4.6 trillion from public sector cost savings and new revenues. Several market disruptions are driving IOE relevance: mobile-based end devices, cloud-based applications, and social media. The new IOE economy will profoundly affect four major facets of daily life: The first is people. As the internet evolves toward IoE, people will be connected in more relevant, valuable ways. For example, in the future, sensors placed on the skin or sewn into clothing will provide...
Nah, buddy. Sensors placed in the body. That CHARAGMA, okay? The CHARAGMA, the RFID microchip in your right hand or your forehead, okay? Let's get it right. Let's not play games here, okay?
In more relevant, valuable ways. For example, in the future, sensors placed on the skin or sewn into clothing will provide information about a person's vital signs. In this way, according to Gardner, people themselves will become nodes on the internet, second or things.
See, they want to connect you to the internet. They want to be able to track you and monitor you, okay?
Physical items such as sensors, consumer devices, and enterprise assets connected to the internet and to each other will sense more data and become context-aware. IT represents a fraction of the cyber-physical world. Only 0.6% of things are connected to the internet today. There were 1,000 internet devices in 1984, 1 million in 1992, and 10 billion in 2008. 50 billion devices are expected to be connected by 2020. Third is data. Rather than simply reporting raw data, connected things will send higher-level information back to machines, computers, and people for further evaluation and decision-making.
You gonna see, that's why they need that 5G, that powerful frequency, because they're transmitting a bunch of information. Your debit card, your vital signs, your location, a lot of things,
By 2020. Third is data. Rather than simply reporting raw data, connected things will send higher-level information back to machines, computers, and people for further evaluation and decision-making.
For further evaluation and decision-making. And what did Aaron Russo say? He said so they could just turn the chip off whenever they wanted to. Okay? Who's doing evaluating and decision-making? The elites. The government.
Meanwhile, the volume of data is growing exponentially. An estimated 4,000 exabytes of data were stored in the cloud at the end of 2012, and the contributions from Amazon and Facebook amounted to 20 petabytes of data per day. That is more data than what was created by all humans in the previous 5,000 years. And fourth is process. With the correct process, the right information can be delivered to the right person at the right time in the appropriate way. We'll see the adoption of social and other information media continue to
what I just thought of? I'm gonna shut it down here, brothers. But you know what I just thought about? Cause that bring to mind the brothers, the DTA 144 elect. They had just went down to the Georgia Guidestones in Atlanta. I'm gonna shut it down here, man. Shut it down, man. But yeah. Like I said, the CHARAGMA is the mark of the beast. It is the RFID microchip, all right? Plain and simple, and the infrastructure is laid. We right there. But no, going back to, I was just thinking, you see, they said a whole bunch of, basically a lot, it's going to be sending a lot of information to the so-called cloud, which we know the cloud is basically their servers, man. They have, in these mountains, in Colorado, wherever the hell, they got these big servers, and they just store a whole bunch of information. They have profiles on people, But anyway, yeah, I was just thinking, well, what it is, the population is so big that if they were to chip, they can't chip everyone. It's impossible for them to physically chip everyone. So that's why, like I said, the Georgia Guidestones said they have to get the number down to a decent number. What is it, 500 million or whatever the number is, 500,000 in perpetual balance. I forget what the number is, but they got to get the population down. Why? So they can control. It's better to control. It's too many. If right now, if everybody was to take the chip, it would be, the computers would crash. It would be too much information being bought. Sent and uploaded and downloaded. Too much. That's why the order out of chaos. That's why there's going to be Jacob's trouble. Okay, that's why there's got to be a war. That's why a lot of things are going to happen, because they have to get the population down so the system can run more efficiently. It makes sense. It makes sense. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna shut it down. Lord's willing, this video was edifying. Like I always say, man, we almost out of here, man. Keep watching, keep fasting, keep praying, keep pushing, man. Shalom.